Let me give you all a complete beginner's guide to Anime Rising. Hello, it is sisterguard here. Hopefully having a great day. I'm having a great day. We're back today in Anime Rising because they just releasing as this video is coming out. So I'm going to go ahead and give you all a complete starter guide, do everything you need to know, getting in the game, and just kind of some basic overview of a lot of the mechanics. But before we do that, please make sure you smash the like button, do the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Y'all have been absolutely epic with all the support. I greatly appreciate it. And yeah, so we are going to get into it. So first things first, when you spawn on in, it's going to be a little chaotic. Pardon the screen. When we were starting early access, it was a little buggy. But once you spawn on in, just go ahead and follow the quests on the right-hand side of your screen. Just follow that. There's going to be these lovely little arrows that kind of point you where you need to go. So that's kind of the big gist that you need to do. This game is a simulator mixed a little bit with like active play. If you played Anime Champion Simulator, this is an updated version of that. That is the best analogy I can make for you. So let's go ahead and go over all the different buttons on the screen so you know what's going on. So first things first, let's just go ahead and talk about units. You're going to see units all around the zone that are different colors. So you're going to have common. If they have a blue circle, they're going to be rare. If they have a purple circle, they're going to be epic. If they have a yellow circle like this one over here, that is a legendary. And if they have a rainbow, that means they are mythic. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go up and your guys are going to start fighting them. And as you try to see, as you can see, I'm trying to arise this one right here. Didn't get it, but every time you defeat an enemy, you get coins, you get summon XP, you can get essence depending on their tier, and you get their soul. So let's go ahead and talk about how the units work in your inventory. As you can see, I have a wide variety of units in here. Units don't have their own levels. What happens is you have spots that have levels and you upgrade them. And every 5, you have to pay a additional cost. It's called a break orb. You have to pay those in addition. But basically, you level the spots up to get additional strength, which is a really interesting mechanic. But you're going to have different units. Now, these units come in different rarities. And what do I mean different rarities? Well, it means that if you summon one, so say, let's talk about Yoho down here. If I manage to find an epic one of him out and I manage to arise it, I will get it, upgrade it. I don't have to ascend it. I don't have to do any of that other business because right now I can ascend him, which that is another thing. If you get enough of the materials, you can actually ascend them on your own. They usually will cost souls of the unit, coins, and rare essence. Again, souls, coins, and rare essence you do get from the mobs themselves. You also get them as just general rewards or passive rewards, I could guess you can call them. And you can actually get 2 hours instantly by using gems, which is one of the currencies in the game. Hopefully y'all are keeping up. But if I could just find an epic one of him, I wouldn't need to spend the cost. And to be frank, I'm probably not going to do that because I want to save my money. But the higher rarity they are, the better they're going to be. So example being, I have this Clover Knight. They have this lovely thing where you can see all of the combat stats. Absolutely incredible. The next thing, we have quirks. So how the quirk system works. If they are common, they have 0 quirk spots. If they are rare, they have 1. If they are epic, they have 2. If they are legendary, they have 3. And if you manage to get a mythic, you get 4. Now this 4th one is what is classified as a class quirk or a class spot. And you're like, what does that mean? Well, as you can see, as I was clicking on these guys, they actually have classes in the top left-hand corner. And one of the cool things about this game is they do actually have a really nice little guide thing. It's over in that little question mark. This is where you can see the classes. You can actually see what they're defined as. Berserkers are skilled warriors that get stronger the longer they attack an enemy. We have assassins. They do burst DPS damage. Tacticians, leaders of the battlefield that buff your team. Mage, burst DPS. Brawler, resilient fighters. So there's actually different variants. I would say you at least want 1 tactician on your team. Just from general thinking about it. There also is a lot of stuff in here as well. So if you want to check that out. Now another thing with the units, so let's go ahead and click on that. You can see that he has an element up here. So Ash Knight has dark. Master Roshi has water, ice, fire. These play into effect for weaknesses and for advantages. So think Pokemon. Fire does good against grass. Well, if you're needing to know where stuff scales at, go to the elements, and it actually shows it. So if a faction has an advantage, so this is their faction / elements, they get a 1.3 damage DPS. And if they're at a disadvantage, they actually lose damage against it, which, just. The next thing I want to talk about is it was talking about damage, and you can see there is a faction bonus down here. So if you played ACS, we're having another faction thing. So part of the buff you're going to want to get is you're going to want to start collecting guys that have the same faction, because you're going to get a bigger bonus. Right now, I don't have a whole lot of guys with the same faction. I have 2 with the water. Now, the only ones that are quote-unquote neutral, or ones that can count either way, is light and dark units count as wild cards for any faction, which means they can count for, additional adding. So you don't always have to have, 5 of every single one, because you're not always going to have 5 of every single one. Now, this does play a role into something I'll talk about later, which is dungeons, and for Infinite Castle, which we do have that. So that's kind of the general gist. You can sit AFK. They actually have a really good AFK thing. I can show that here. So if you're just wanting to AFK, it kind of lowers all the graphics so it's not as intense, which I actually kind of really like. They have an auto attack. That's kind of the basis of the game, is we're going to be running around doing this. Now, let's go ahead and talk about those specialty things. But before we do that, we're going to talk about all the lovely little buttons over here. We're going to talk about the potions. We're going to talk about all that extra stuff. Let's go and talk about potions. They have a wide variety of things. They have mythical fragments. These will allow you to summon a random mythical summon, a random legendary, a random epic, rare. There also is common over here. You're also going to get these resource ones, which this will give me an hour of break orbs. And you're like, what does that mean? If we go up here to our income, we'll get 38 if we use that. Okay. You're able to get more if you have friends in the server, which this game really likes friends. There's a lot of currencies. And if you have the VIP, which we'll also go into that, because that's probably going to be our next thing after we go through items. You're going to have potions for shiny mythicals, so you can get mythicals or shinies in this. Increased arise luck, increased summon movement speed, increase your movement speed. They do have cosmetics. I don't know what they're used. Like, there's no bonuses on here. I think they're just to look pretty. So I don't know. We have dungeon crystals. You get these from doing dungeons, so that is something we'll go over. We have quirk tokens. These are just for the normal quirks. We have class quirk tokens, which we already talked about that. Those are used for mythicals. We do have revive scrolls. These has to deal with dungeons. We'll go over that in a minute. I'll go do one. I think there's one currently active. And again, some of these are dailies. Like, you get rid of them after the day's over, and some of them you have permanently. So the next thing we're going to go over is the shop. Now, you're going to see in here, there's nothing in the shop that says Game Pass. There is actually no Game Pass in this game. There is basically subscriptions. Now, each of these subscriptions have different things they do. You get 1 month of VIP. What does it give you? It increases your auto arise radius. It gives you a bonus mythical chance. It gives you a bigger auto attack and auto arise radius. It gives you increased income. You're going to get gems over the course of every day. We have the dungeon pack. What does the dungeon pack do? Bonus arise luck in dungeons. Bonus revive scrolls daily. You get bonus dungeon crystals. Season pass. You get a bonus season pass. So right now there's only 10 levels. I don't have any more levels beyond that, or I just haven't unlocked it yet. I don't know. But they do have a premium version, and it does unlock 5 of the levels for you. You do also have quests in order to do that as well. We've got daily, we got weekly, and we've got your basic quest. I'm currently stuck on this one. I don't have quite enough DPS. So figured while I was trying to farm up some resources, we can go ahead and go here. But next thing we can go on over is they do have a lovely teleport system. This actually will teleport you to the different enemies in the zones that you have quests for. There also is a central hub where we can go to summons, machines, castle, and dungeons. Let's go ahead and go here. So we have the summons, which this is its own thing. I'll kind of show you a clip of a couple of them I got. There is going to be basically units that you can only get from this. There is a pity for both legendary and mythical. You can also see the rates and of different stuff you can get. So there is a tier above mythical, because I did talk about that there was mythical, but there's mythical 1, 2, 3, and I do believe 4. And then classified, that is the top current one. I'm not going to spend these, but it is 7,500 gems to arise or summon one of those. We do have dungeons. Machines are over there. Also, if you want to see all the leaderboards, they're over here as well. But they also have machines in here. You don't actually need them. You can actually ascend from your inventory. So you really don't need to worry about that. You can also roll for quirks in your inventory, which I really like, because let me find one that doesn't have a great one. Let's go ahead and re-roll his quirk. Also, all the quirks have a scale. They can be anywhere from an F all the way up to S. I think I've seen an S. So we've got movement speed, there's damage, there's attack speed. Yeah, so there's a ton of different stuff to get in here, a ton of customization. I'm not too like 100% on that yet, so I'm not going to say like what's the best. The next thing we have dungeons. So every 10 minutes, these cycle through. So if you're looking for a very specific dungeon, it shows what the element is, it shows what the ranking is, and it shows what you're going to get. Some of the bosses do attack. I didn't see any of the others attacking back, but this one does attack back. Basically, you're going to have 10 minutes to defeat them. There is variations in how the dungeons are. Sometimes they'll have mobs around, sometimes they won't. It just depends. Now, one thing to note, if you're still confused about what unit is good against what, as you can see above Vegeta's head right here, he has a up arrow. That means he has a bonus against this guy. So he's going to end up doing more damage. You can do these in a group. I would recommend doing that. Just kind of get with a group of people that are doing it at the time. And while we're waiting to defeat him, we can kind of talk about group play, stuff you can do together. You can defeat mobs together. I would recommend getting in a group of server with other people, because we'll go back to the store. There is other things in here. There is marketplaces, which by the way, you do get a free chest from the weekly. Some stuff does cost gems, some stuff does cost coins. So go ahead and take a look in each of these. Dungeon also has the same. I'll go ahead and buy some more quirks. I want to be able to have those. They do have what is called the friendship tab. So basically what this is you get friendship every time you get your rewards, which I don't know how long. I think it's like every 10 minutes or so you're getting your rewards, if maybe every 5. But you also get little friendship hearts. This is for playing with your friends, or an alt, or an army of alts. So they do have weekly and dailies you can get from here. I would always recommend trying to buy out, especially the revive scrolls, and the quirk tokens. And currently I don't have any codes for y'all, but I'm going to assume probably one's going to be release. Now the next thing we're going to go over is the castle. So they do have what's called the infinite castle. So they have one that spawns every day, and then they have designated ones that spawn during the days of the week. Now you're going to be able to get a ton of gems from these, and I would recommend doing them for the gems. But what I would also recommend, if you're seeing, I am displaying that I'm going into an elemental one. So I would recommend 1, doing summons when you can. 2, don't just focus on one zone or the other. As I've already kind of shown with a lot of the units, Clever Mage is a unit from the first zone. Vegeta is from the 3rd. He has more DPS. So zones don't determine how good they are. So you're going to have to start collecting a wide variety of guys. Now, I know I'm going to have some people be like, I don't know if I should play this game. This game is pretty pay to win, I will have to say. Unlike ACS, which gave you the ability to buy the game passes with gems, this is not here in this game. So yes, unfortunately the game is pay to win. I kind of wish it wasn't, especially with other games I'm playing, but yeah, that's kind of one big thing I want to harp on OTM about is the game is very, very pay to win, especially for getting extra luck, and I need this to go away. It assumes I don't want to do that quest. I do. The problem is there's a massive roadblock at this point in time, and I can't do it. by the way, you can also be stunned. So if you get hit by stuff, you can be stunned as well. I don't think we got him. Nope, unfortunately not. Sad day. That's Anime Arise, guys. Please let me know if you have any comments down below. If you want meta, stuff like that, I'll probably have a few more videos out here in the next couple days. So I just kind of want to see what everyone's kind of looking for. But hopefully this was helpful, and I'll see y'all next time.